Welcome, Broken Tee Society. I'm Brad Faxon here at the Old Marsh Golf Club in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Beautiful golf course and a great day. We're going to talk today about putting and how to make more putts, and we're going to do it maybe the opposite of the way the world's going now. We're talking about being more creative, how to hold putts while you play, some ideas on how to get that way out on the golf course so it's not just on the practice green. We're going to be athletic, we're going to be instinctive, and we're going to have fun doing this. I think everybody in the world wants to hold more putts, wants to hold important putts, and we're going to talk about a bunch of different ways that you'll be able to do this the next time you play. Just over 7 years ago, I got asked by Rory McIlroy to try and help him with his putting. I didn't take this question lightly, and I was certainly very nervous when I arrived at the Bears Club at 4 o'clock on a Monday afternoon before the Arnold Palmer Invitational. As one of the best players in the world, you know how frustrating it is when you play and you don't score like you should. Rory was always great tee to green. He was having a lot of trouble with consistency in putting. So one of the things I did, and one of the philosophies I believe in, is this idea of continuous motion. And what do I mean by that? Continuous motion would mean to me that once you've started into your routine, once you've read the putt, and as you get over the ball, nothing's ever static, nothing's ever still. I try not to let a player let their brain start reading the instruction manual. And every one of us has been guilty of that, at least at some part of your game. I filmed Rory from the face-on view, so I was watching him as he got ready to putt, and it was pretty obvious to me that he was standing over the ball longer than he should or that he would normally do with the full shot. I said, okay, here's the first thing we're going to do. I handed him a lob wedge, his lob wedge, 60 degree, and he had just started using a 5-wood, two clubs that rarely would he ever practice putting with. As soon as he used two other clubs that weren't his putter, there came the continuous motion. There was no, all of a sudden, rules on how to do this. There was some flow, some athleticness that looked normal for Rory, and it was very easy to see that. He had about a 12 to 15 footer, windy, fast greens, and he made 3 putts in a row with his 5-wood. It was remarkable to watch this and how easy that putter, that 5-wood went back and through. I want to show you more and more about what I mean about continuous motion and how this can help you to putt better. Okay, how can you explore the idea of continuous motion, and why do I have a lob wedge and a 5-wood here along with my putter? If you're one of those that's thinking about too much, struggling as you get closer to the hole, this will help you to understand this idea. So a lot of players in the past have used a sand wedge when the ball goes off the edge of the green up against the collar, and they'll hit the belly of the sand wedge into the middle of the ball using a putting stroke and a putting setup. Now the sand wedge is a good thing to practice with because it's pretty close in length to your putter. Mine's 35.5 inches, so you can see there right away. I don't have to change much with my address. Now as I stand up to it, I have my putting stance. Feet are close together. I'm about the same distance from the ball. I'm lightly resting the sand wedge against the green here, but as I make my stroke, I have to adjust to hit the ball right there on the blade. All of a sudden now there's no rules on how you have to do this. And you'll notice as I look from the hole back to the ball, I start that club back pretty quickly, so you don't have time to lose the picture that's in your mind. We use some fancy terms sometimes when we teach, called skill acquisition maybe. Why would you do this? Would this really help you to belly a sand wedge, or to particularly use a 5-wood? Now all of a sudden with a club that you wouldn't necessarily use to putt because it's so much longer, you're standing farther from the ball, I would still use my putting grip to do this, and you'll see a lot of tour players, even men and women, from the fringes often use a club like this to get the ball rolling up some of those slopes. So now I'm much further from the ball. I still have my putting grip, so my eye line's well inside the ball. I'm going to push my hands forward here to take some of the loft off of this club and try to get the ball to roll along the green. And you can adjust easily, but again, the same concept with the sand wedge. Once I look from the the hole back to the ball, I go. And I want you to pay attention to how does this feel? Not really does the ball go in the hole or not, but how does it feel when you do this? And then lastly, I would go from the sand wedge to the 5-wood. You could use a hybrid, and then do the same thing with your putter and try to keep your mind free, try to keep your mind clear so that once you looked at the hole, back to the ball, there goes the putter head. Okay, so now the putter, you're gonna have to resist the temptation to try harder and to think more when you have the flat stick. You've seen me putt some with the lob wedge, with the 5-wood. Now the putter's the same thing. I like to do this in practice. Maybe your practice stroke is looking at the hole. You exaggerate the length and the speed of your practice stroke. Keeping the picture in your mind, there's the look at the hole. Once, twice, go, and release. So at no point when you watch that are you seeing anything stop. My feet are moving to grab the ground. Toes are moving inside my shoes. Fingers are milking the grip here. So there's always that continuous motion. I've swiveled my neck and head to look down the line. As I come back to the ball, bam, there's my key to keep that thing going. It's gonna feel odd at first. It might feel, I've heard people use the word naked. I feel like I don't have any control. I spent a lot of time with Bob Rotella, the sports psychologist. He had so many great lines, but the line I like the most that I've used for a long time is you gain control by giving up control. So don't try to guide it. This will really help you, particularly as you get closer to the hole, to make more of those short putts.